Hey, Vinyl Community and YouTube. Hey, I had received a package from Anthony at Gambler 812, some VLCT, and I'm just was shocked at what come in this box. Now I had commented on one of his shorts, um, and he had an album, the Godfather album up, and I said I've got to get that. It's one of my favorite. I have the DVDs, of course, and watched them multiple times. And man, he said he found this just at a thrift store, and he thought of me, man. Dude, man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, he wrote me a letter here. He said that he tried to send this, and it went back to him for some reason. I don't know why. And so anyway, he put a couple of albums in this box as well, and I'm just like, I'm flabbergasted. Truthfully, this is one of my absolute favorite trumpet players of all time. Of all time, I listened to him since I was in high school. My band director, when I was in high school, told me about this guy. A buddy of mine went over to his house, and he said, "Hey, I want you to listen to this trumpet player." And this was the CD that he had, and I was just I was just shocked. I was like, I want to sound like that. I want to be this guy. Now, at the time, I didn't know he played jazz music. I didn't know he was from New Orleans. I didn't know anything about him. I just heard this CD, and I went and drove. This was in 1986. I had a 1986 Faro GT, and my mother was so strict. She's like, she would not allow me to be on the highway, but I snuck off and I went to a town north of me, about 60 miles north, a little larger community that had a record store, and I bought the album to this, and I don't have it anymore. I don't know whatever happened to it between getting, moving. I mean, I was 16 years old. I don't have very many things from back in that time period. But anyway, I found this on Discogs, along with a couple of others of his. This is the Eastman Wind Ensemble with Wynton Marsalis playing the cornet. Amazing songs. And I mentioned that he plays jazz. That's probably, in my opinion, he's one of his first jazz recordings that I've ever found. He was playing with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers during this time period here. So he was pretty young, I think. But his dad, Ellis Marsalis, extremely famous jazz piano player from New Orleans. His brother, Branford Marsalis, equally famous saxophone player. His whole family. There's a trombone player in there somewhere. I can't remember his name, but man, dude, this is really awesome. This is really awesome. I used to have this on CD, and it's disappeared over the years. I am so thankful, man. This is just awesome, man. I tell you, when I was in college, when I started college, I was introduced to the piccolo trumpet. I knew about the piccolo trumpet because of these albums, but I never did have one. And the professor of trumpet at that time at Pittsburgh State University, he had a piccolo trumpet, and I don't know if I wanted to try it out. I was like, I was tickled to death. Come from this small southeastern Oklahoma town to this enlightened community of musicians, and I fell in love with the piccolo trumpet. I played that nonstop when I was in college. My senior recital, I actually performed with it, played it for a long time. Weddings and different things, and that was the reason why, is because of this guy here, Wynton Marsalis. Then of course found out later on, when I was in college, that he was the foremost. I mean, I'm talking about even back in the 90s, early 90s, the foremost jazz, I would say, aficionado or jazz, just carries the torch for all jazz musicians, especially in New Orleans. Just an amazing individual, in my opinion. Man, wow, Anthony, this is, I'm excited about this. And then another album I'm excited about, and I don't know if I have a Freddie Hubbard album. I might. I know I have some books, some things that I play that was written by Freddie Hubbard. This one's High Energy. I've not heard of this one. A trumpet player that has just been in jazz on the jazz scene forever. So Freddie Hubbard, he passed away on December 29th, 2008, I believe. Yeah, 2008. And he's born in 19, I want to say 38 or 39. But anyway, was in the jazz scene from, the beginning of bebop jazz, big band jazz stuff to bebop to just all the way through up until 2008 when he died. One thing I found fascinating about Freddie Hubbard was on an album, and this has just been a recent album, probably within this year that I've purchased. It's Billy Joel's 52nd Street, and there's a tune on there called Zanzibar, and there's a trumpet solo in that thing. And man, I'm sitting there listening to that, and I knew some of those tunes off that album, but I had never heard of Zanzibar. And I was listening to, man, and I was just sitting back and relaxing. And the trumpet started. I said, "What the heck? Oh my God, that's awesome!" And I looked up who's playing the trumpet. It was Freddie Hubbard playing on the Billy Joel album. And so I was just stoked about when I saw this in this package. I can't wait to break that out and listen to it, man. So hey, I didn't mean for this to run so long, Anthony. I hope you realize how much I appreciate you, man. I think you're awesome. Thinking about me, made that comment on your short about The Godfather. These are some of my favorite favorite Italian movies, and for you to think of me, man, seeing that and thinking, oh, Brian might like that. I really appreciate it, brother. If there's anything you need or want, or I know you've got a lot more resources, I'm sure, than I do here in Southeast Oklahoma, but dude, if there's something you're needing or wanting, you holler at me, you email me, and I'm going to get it for you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. And we will, man, I'm going to get this stuff out and start listening to it. Y'all take care.